What's up, guys? This is Jay from COI. So, no, Nevada is in, and Bernie Sanders won by just an insane amount. This is bigger than I think anyone really predicted. There was talks that it would be a double-digit victory. No one thought it would be by what 30 some percent. Like at this point, Biden is at 19 and Bernie is at 54. Now, they're not everything's not confirmed yet. That's just where we're at right now. Um, but um, yeah, this is huge. This is really big, and there's multiple reasons why. The first reason why this is so big is we've never had a Democratic candidate win the first three at the gate like this. And you can argue, yeah, but didn't Buttigieg win Iowa? Uh, no, he didn't. The first, the realignment, they all went to Bernie. How Buttigieg ended up with more delegates out of that, I don't really know. But Bernie won. Bernie definitely won New Hampshire, and you can't even make the argument like they were doing in New Hampshire. They can't make the argument, well, if you add up all the moderates, then they still beat Bernie Sanders. No, not here. Um, let's see, like I said, Biden had 19. Buttigieg was at, last I checked, he was at 13, and Klobuchar was at 4. So, yeah, that doesn't even touch Bernie. He handedly beat all of them. And the other, real significant thing about this is Nevada came out as the representative state. Like Iowa and New Hampshire are very white, and they said, you have a mix of people in Nevada, quite a different mix of people, and that's been the thing people have been talking about. And I think that's why the establishment was a little excited maybe a week or two ago for Nevada and South Carolina, and the big things kept being, well, Bernie Bros, they're a problem. Bernie has a problem with non-white voters. Bernie has a problem with older people. These are all the things that we've been hearing. And those of us who do support Bernie have followed the people around, have seen everyone at different rallies. We've talked to people and we're like, I don't notice a certain group more than anyone else. Um, it's just simply not true. Well, there again, what we got in Nevada, who was the lead candidate with the most votes for people over 45? Bernie Sanders. Who had the most for people under 45? Bernie Sanders. Who had the most from non white voters? Bernie Sanders. Who had the most from white voters? Bernie Sanders. Not to mention, and this is important as well, the turnout. The turnout from the numbers that we have right now, it looks like they're bigger than 2008. All of this is why your friends that support Bernie Sanders are really happy right now. And your establishment friends are not very happy. And if you turn into MSNBC in the next 24 hours, you're going to see them just go off the rails. And I say that because if you had the opportunity to watch their coverage of the caucus, it was hilarious. I don't even know who they had. One of the reporters was at the caucus sites, and aside from, there's a great clip going around online where she is like tearing up. She's about to. You can see she's like just a few seconds away from crying. And then this same reporter, when she's kind of eyeballing where the caucus goers are going, she lets out an audible sigh. She's like, and it looks like a lot of people are going to Bernie Sanders. Like, how unprofessional. But by the way, MSN, don't fire her because she was hilarious. I love seeing that. It was great. Then we had Chris Matthews who proves that if the establishment can go fascist over Bernie Sanders, they will every time. Because he said this to a few people. He said, well, maybe we just let Donald Trump win and then in 4 years we pick someone we like. This is why you guys are losing to Bernie Sanders. And why you're losing to Trump, by the way. I mean, he's outright saying, look, we're the betters, the elites. We pick. a better person. We don't like what's going on right now. It's so pathetic. And to argue that any of these people are liberal. I mean, let's be honest. The main thing that Bernie Sanders is trying to do is to expand some social programs. That's really what he's trying to do. Do you think we're gonna shut down the military and we're gonna let in every immigrant and everything's gonna be free under Bernie Sanders? Oh, and by the way, you think under Bernie you're not gonna be able to have your same job? We're just gonna be full blown communist and it's all state ran and the government just gets all this money. Do you really think that's what's gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen at all. And that's what people have been saying, and that's the message and the narrative they want you to believe. No, he runs an FDR style uh government. That's his idea. Going back to FDR, a Denmark style government. Just a few more, safety nets, maybe expand them a little bit, but keep going at a free market. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, the socialism that we have is going to the elites, the 1%. He wants to give that socialism to us. That's really all that's going to happen. But these people, they understand how it works. Because if we take out the healthcare system, their healthcare, the private healthcare system, well, who buys most of the ads on cable media, on mainstream media, sorry, on your cable news? I mean, if any of you have that opportunity to watch the garbage, and Fox is included in this. What's every other commercial? Unless it's Fox, it's My Pillow guy. But it's some sort of pharmaceutical commercial. If you have a boner that won't quit, take this pill. If your ass is bleeding, if you've got snot coming out of your eyeballs, blah 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 blah. I mean, they even do the ones where it's like, do you ever feel tired? You ever feel bloated? You could have cancer, and this is the perfect drug. I mean, you see these all the time. They're fucking bullshit. But that's who pays their bills. That's how Chris Matthews has a job, is because of the pharmaceutical and the healthcare system that we currently have. And Bernie wants to dismantle that. Why? To save $450 billion a year and about 70,000 American lives every year. And no, they don't like that. No, no. I don't care about that many American lives. I don't care about helping the poor. I don't care about the bleeding heart that I say I have. No, we'll just go to Trump. We'll just stay with Trump. That's what he said. It was horrible. But you're gonna see more of this. You're gonna see the attacks on, like we saw from the Washington Post. The elites should have more say in who becomes a president. Is too much democracy the problem in America? You know, what's the other one? Too much democracy caused Trump. You're gonna see this country that sends people off to die for democracy is gonna say, well, maybe we don't need that democracy. If the democracy goes against what we want, no, let's shut it down. Now it's worth it for your kid to go overseas and die for that democracy, but nah, when it doesn't work for me, no, no democracy. It's gonna be interesting. It really is. Um, I'm excited. I love seeing. Honestly, I just want to see Chuck Todd's stupid face tomorrow on Meet the Press and see how nervous he is. I want to see them try to spin this. There is about no damn way to spin it. And usually I talk very pessimistically about what's going to happen. I'll just throw in something really optimistic here for all you Bernie supporters. If Bernie wins South Carolina, in 10 days this whole thing could be over. And they may not be able to steal it from Bernie. He could he could have the majority and there's nothing they could do. And it could be Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump. And we've seen the numbers. They're on Bernie's website. He beats Trump. And in fact, I bet you that number by Monday or Tuesday is going to be even higher. We could be closing in on the end of this whole debacle that is the Democratic Party. But I will say this. all the people who support him, all the people who believed, who hoped, who wished, all of that stuff. Celebrate, be happy, all of that. But celebrate and show that faith and everything else by donating to Bernie Sanders, by donating your time, by phone banking, by doing all that stuff, because this is when it gets hard. It's gonna continue to get hard, even if he wins. By the way, you're gonna have to keep pushing because, like he says, it's not me, us. We have to keep pushing for him, and we need to keep helping him along every bit of the way. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the whole thing. Curious what you guys think. Um, how entertained were you by watching the MSN pundits just lose their shit today? Pretty funny. Also, quick note: Fox News was great. Fox News covered the whole thing for about 10 minutes. Polls opened, and they're like, yeah, Bernie Sanders won. Okay, let's get back to talking about why Russia's bullshit. It was great. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good evening.